Hey, this is Raulh. Please act right. Previously, on Why I Had to Leave This Beautiful Woman, in episode 1, she got mad at me because some woman asked me to dance while we was at the club, even when I turned the woman down. She said I shouldn't have smiled when I did it. What? Then she was mad at me because the weatherman was wrong about the weather. In episode 2, she was mad at me because I didn't put her rearview mirror back where it was, even after I washed, vacuumed, and cleaned all the nasty windows in her car. In episode 3, she was mad at me because the waitress at the restaurant called me hun and sweetheart. And here's another episode of the nonsense that I was putting up with this woman when I lived with her back in 1990. If you haven't seen the first 3 episodes, I put the playlist link below. And I call this one Walking in Heels. Every morning, my woman had to get up about 2 hours before me. I would lay there and watch her put on her stockings and whichever pants, skirt, or dress she picked out to wear. I wasn't watching her just because it was sexy for me to watch her get dressed. I mostly watched her because she made so much noise opening closets and dresser drawers, I had no choice but to wake up. But of all the opening and closing of doors was never as annoying as when she would walk in her heels back and forth from the kitchen to the bedroom and from the bedroom to her daughter's room 40 times every morning. To me, watching and hearing a woman walk in heels was an attention getter. But this one time, I could do without it. This really got on my nerves. But what would be worse is her snapping at me if I said something. It's only 45 minutes. I would tell myself, after she leaves, I could go back to sleep. So I just dealt with it. One morning, as I got to the bottom of the stairs of our second floor apartment, the gentleman who lived below us asked to speak to me. Since we moved in, we had only said hello, but we never stopped and talked. Sir, I was wondering if you could ask your wife not to walk around in her heels in the morning. It's hard for me to sleep. Now, we weren't married, but of course, he didn't know that, so I didn't correct him. His request was a legitimate one, and of course, I didn't want to hear her walking across the floor in her heels at 7 in the morning either. Here's the perfect reason to get her to stop, by telling her it's annoying somebody else. And this way, she can't be upset with me. So of course, I told my neighbor I'd tell her. When we got home, I told her about our downstairs neighbor's request. She didn't say a word. The next morning, she got up, put her clothes on, and put her heels on as usual. Like I never said a word about our neighbor's request for her to stop walking around in the morning in her heels. So I decided to remind her. Remember I told you the man downstairs asked you not to wear your heels in the morning? Because he can't sleep with you walking around with your heels on over his head?
I don't have any house shoes anymore. They were old and falling apart, so I threw them away.
Here we go with the attitude. Now, during the day, she would wear these footies. You know, those ankle-high socks? Why couldn't she wear those in the morning?
Plus, I don't want to get my stockings caught on something and get a run in them.
Now, I'm thinking to myself, then don't put them on until it's time to go. All I'm hearing are excuses. That day after work, I stopped off and I picked up a brand new pair of house shoes for her. Now, our neighbor, who has never given us any problems, nor have we ever been disturbed with noise coming from his apartment, will be satisfied. I won't have to hear her walking in heels, so I'll be satisfied, and she won't have to worry about getting a run in her stockings. Everybody's happy, right? When I got home, I placed the new house shoes on her side of the bed on the floor. When she got in, she didn't even acknowledge the fact that she even saw them there. The next morning, she got up, she got dressed, and she put her heels on again. Just like nothing had been said to her about it. How ill-mannered can you be? And that was the last straw. After she left, I got up and I wrote a letter to the front desk about her disregard to the request and signed it Apartment A, our neighbor downstairs apartment number. Our neighbor should not have to address this issue again. The next morning, after about 10 minutes of her walking around in her heels, the phone rang and I answered it. Hello?
I'm calling because your neighbor downstairs in apartment 1A, he has a complaint. He's complaining that your wife is walking around in the apartment early in the morning in her heels. He informed us that he spoke with you and requested that she not do that.
Yes, he did. Hold on, please. It's the front office. They want to talk to you. She picked up the phone, and after being on the phone for only a few minutes, saying, I understand, she hung up. She took off her heels and put on the house shoes I bought for her to wear. I could not believe I had to have the office of the apartment complex call her to get her to honor our neighbor's request. And so I wouldn't have to listen to her walking across the floor in her heels every morning. And of course, she didn't talk to me for 2 days after this. And she never found out that I wrote the letter. She thought it was our neighbor downstairs. Now everyone watching this video has heard at one point or another a woman's heels going across hardwood floors. What kind of woman walks around for 45 minutes in her heels on hardwood floors when she knows her other half is in the bed trying to sleep? A mentally disturbed woman who doesn't have respect for other people. And this, good people, was just another episode of the nonsense that I was putting up with from this knucklehead woman. Stay tuned for the next episode, which I'll call Frozen Chicken, Frozen Brain. So for those few people who went in the comment section of the first video saying, as soon as she did something wrong, you ready to roll, this is only episode number 4. There's plenty more to go. My name is Raulh. See you in another video. So if you enjoyed this video, check out one of these 2 videos right here. I'm sure you'll enjoy them too. And if you like, you can visit my channel. I have plenty of videos there. Go ahead. Don't be scared.